What is up, you guys? Pete DiCarlo here, and today we're going to talk about the 90-90-90 rule. And this video is going to be great for somebody who is having trouble staying consistent, whether they're trading or investing, and specifically somebody who has been beaten down by the market maybe over the past couple of months, and you're kind of frustrated. Because in this video, I'm going to highlight the 5 main reasons that traders fail and what you need to do to actually correct them in order to stay positive or just become positive in general. But before we do that, please hit the subscribe button. I know everyone on YouTube says that, but it's because it's very important. Hit the like button as well. The more engagement that these videos get, the more the video gets pushed out there, and therefore the more our amazing community grows. So for those of you who do not know, the 90-90-90 rule states that 90% of people will lose 90% of their portfolio within the first 90 days. Now, of course, this is just kind of a generalization. It's not like this is exactly what happens. For some people, maybe they'll actually end up losing all of their money if they're trading options, or maybe you only have lost 10, 20, 30% in the past year. And if you're somebody who hasn't lost 90% of their money already, you probably fall within the top 10% of traders. Within this top 10%, usually about 8 of the 10 people either don't grow their portfolios much, or they just are basically even for their entire trading career. Or you could be one of the top 2% of traders who actually make this a career, who are actually profitable year over year, month over month. And it takes a lot to become that, because trading, truthfully, is one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. And it's one of the hardest things that a lot of people try to do. When you come into the market, you expect it to be extremely easy, and it's really not. Not even in the slightest is it easy. The trading techniques and the things that you need to know to become a trader seem to be easy, but in all reality, the practice and the principle of putting these things into action is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. Something I tell a lot of my academy students is that it's like losing weight. Everyone knows how to lose weight, right? You just eat less calories, you burn more calories than you consume. Just get up, walk, exercise more, eat greens, eat vegetables, stay away from candy and sugar, and you will probably lose weight. But it's the actual action of doing those things, right? At 2 in the morning, if you have ice cream or candy downstairs, or you had a really bad day, it's pretty easy to just go and eat that stuff. And I'm guilty of that too when it comes to eating ice cream. And I'm also guilty of that when it comes to sometimes using poor judgment or lack of discipline when it comes to trading. So the first reason that this whole 90-90-90 rule is true is that people have an unrealistic expectation of what the stock market is going to be like and the returns that they can probably get. Because the truth is, other than myself, I don't see anybody really posting their losses. So therefore, you get an unrealistic expectation of what you're going to get into when you enter the world of trading stocks or even investing, because people only show the best side of them, right? It's the same reason that nobody posts a double chin photo or a photo of their muffin top. It's because on the internet, you can be the best version of yourself, and the same thing goes for the stock market and stock market gurus. And so when you're on Instagram and Facebook, and I post my profits, and I guess I kind of am one of the problems, but you see all these people making tons of money, and the thing is, like, you're not gonna have that for a long time, right? It's like if you watch LeBron James shoot a basketball and slam dunk and do all these crossovers and cool things, like, you're not going to be able to do that right off the bat. It's going to take a lot of time and dedication, and people don't realize that. This whole unrealistic aspect of investing and trading has gotten like 1,000 times worse within the last 5 years because of apps like Robinhood and because the internet has made trading and investing mainstream. Because when I got started, it was not like that. I couldn't talk to anybody about trading. There was no real YouTubers who were talking about trading or investing except for like Ricky Gutierrez and like Jeremy. But that's it, right? The reason that we have such unrealistic expectations nowadays is because the barrier of entry is so easy. It's so easy to start a broker account and just start buying and selling things. So if you are somebody watching this video and you've been trading for less than a year, or you're really thinking about trading or investing, because it goes sort of the same way when it comes to this realistic expectation of things, realize you're gonna suck, right? Like, just like anything. If I tried to, become a basketball player or a football player, or if I try to learn how to play the drums, I'm gonna be pretty bad for the first couple of years. That's just how it is. Now, the second reason kind of stems off of the first thing, and it's that people are not dedicated. This is not a skill for you to learn or a lifestyle like, a lot of people portray. that you should have if you are not dedicated. I'm talking very dedicated. When I started trading specifically, I would sit there from 8 in the morning all the way till 4 p.m. and then at night I would actually review charts of other companies, spend a lot of time learning, going through different courses. I'll link my course down below. I actually have a code where you can start for 90% off on your first month. Shameless plug. But I spent a lot of time learning. It's just like any other skill. You have to put the practice in and you have to be dedicated. Now, I really want to talk about dedication, not in just the fact that you want to watch YouTube videos and you want to learn, but dedication to get the living crap kicked out of you every single day and still show up. One of the things that I think overall makes martial artists the best people to surround yourself with is that they're very humble. And the reason they're so humble is because they show up every single day, they pay a good amount of money to the gyms that they belong to, they get the crap beat out of them the entire day, especially when you're starting, you get the crap beat out of you, and then you show up the next day, and you show up the next day, and you show up the next day. And the cool thing about martial arts, and the same thing with the stock market, guys, I want you to start paying attention to these gurus online and just people in general within these forums. When you have somebody who maybe starts jujitsu, they might show up for the first week or two, but if they're continuing to get destroyed on the mats, that's how you wean out the weak. Because if they just keep coming back a month later and they're getting the crap kicked out of them, that's how you know that they're actually dedicated to learn. The only reason I am here right now is because 2.5 years into trading, I had never made a dime. But I was dedicated. I knew that like if I just don't give up, I truly can make this a career at some point in my life. And there were people out there I personally knew who were full-time traders. And I was like, if they can do it, I can do it. And so I truly never gave up. If you don't have that type of dedication, you're not gonna last long here. So next time you see somebody flexing with the kind of money they made in the market, hit them up 6 months later. Hey, what's up? How are you doing? See if they're still posting. 9 times out of 10, they won't be around. Now, the third thing kind of also stems off the second thing, that people are not responsible for themselves and for their own actions. As a society, especially in the workforce, we have our hands held our entire lives, right? You're told that if you work as a janitor, if you go to work and you clean, that you will get your money, right? That's why we work. We show up at our job, we do our job, we get paid for it. Now, what if you got paid only for what you produce? For those of you who are salespeople out there and you live off of commission, you know what it's like. You don't get paid a certain amount of money, you only get paid off of what you produce. And honestly, that's capitalism in a nutshell, and that's why I'm obsessed with capitalism, because I can work way harder than other people and I will get paid way more than other people. But the thing is, when you start trading, nobody's telling you what to do. You sit down in the morning in front of your charts. You sit down in front of balance sheets if you're a long-term investor, and you sit down and you are solely in charge to figure out if this is a good trade or if this is a good investment. Nobody's holding your hand telling you what to do. And that kills a lot of people, especially when it comes to cutting your losses, right? If it's a long-term investment, like right now, if you're invested in AMC, the company is basically going to go bankrupt, and I doubt the movies are going to be around 10 years from now. The stock's down like 50% in the past week. Nobody is telling you to sell. That's entirely up to you. Now, if you are in AMC randomly, I hope it goes up and I hope you have a great investment there. When you are an investor and you're a trader, it's all up to you, and the responsibility is 100% on your shoulders. And people have problems with that because they don't like looking in the mirror and being like, I am a mess up. I'm doing these things wrong and it's all my fault. A lot of people want to say, well, the market's controlled and it's manipulated and Trump's tweeting this and the market makers. And yeah, like a lot of that is true, but at the end of the day, you have to be in charge of what you are responsible for, and that is taking your loss and cutting your position. And the biggest thing with trading, guys, really is psychology and just knowing and learning yourself. If you're a greedy person, you can't be greedy. That's your responsibility to not be greedy. If you're somebody who is scared and you have analysis paralysis where you're just so afraid of losing money, or you're so afraid to take a trade that you just never take a trade, you have to get over that. Nobody is going to hold your hand and make you get over that, and that's the hardest thing about becoming a trader. That is really what my forte is market psychology. So if you want to learn more about that, like I said before, I put the link down in the description. That's mainly what we go over. within our private stock market community. And I also do daily live streams going over different trades I'm taking, why I'm taking them, and most importantly, helping you guys with your trades, because the mentoring aspect is what is so important when it comes to trading and investing. Now, the fourth reason that people do not make it as traders and investors is they do not log and track their performance. What you cannot track, you can't improve. So you have to keep a log, just a pretty simple log like this one right here, saying what trade you took, why you took it, how were you feeling that day. That's a big thing too, right? How are you feeling that day? And we'll get into that in a minute, but you need to track what you did, why you did it, when you took your stop loss. And if you do not track your trades, you will not be able to go back and see what you did right or what you did wrong. It's through tracking that you can figure out as well what pattern you play best. So for me, I am 100% a pattern-based trader. My best pattern, statistically, from years and years and years of actually looking at my profit and loss and logging every single trade, my best pattern is ascending wedges and descending wedges, and usually reverse head and shoulders. For some reason, those are the patterns that I play best, and therefore those are what most of the patterns and trades that I actually take. Now, I did say earlier that you need to keep a log of how you felt, and it's not like, this is some psychology class where you need to diary about how you're feeling or what terrible things are happening in your life, but your psychology plays a huge role when it comes to trading. If you just got in a huge fight with your wife, you kicked your kid out of the house because he's a piece of crap, and then you got to go sit down and you sit at the trade desk, how do you think you're going to trade that day? You're probably going to trade pretty poorly. Let's say you just got fired from your job, you have a drug addiction, you just did a whole bunch of drugs, and now you're going to sit down and trade. How do you think you're going to trade? Now, on the other hand, let's say you wake up, you have a morning routine, you did all of that today, you had your coffee or your tea, you worked out a little bit, you just took a shower, you meditated for a little bit, you light that candle. This is exactly what I do every day. But then you sit down at your desk. How do you think you're going to trade? Do you think that you're going to have a better mindset? Do you think that you're going to be more clear and focused and more concise with the decisions that you're going to make that day? Of course you are, guys. Of course you are. And that's why you need to be logging down just quickly. How do you feel? Now, the last reason that 90% of people lose their money in the market is simply because they never learn from their mistakes. I'm going to say it again. They or you or I do not truly learn from your mistakes. And I'm telling you, this is so true. Because go back, this is why journaling is so important. Because I would always write down in my journal after I took a huge loss. Because my biggest problem was that I was great at picking trades, I was good at putting on trades, I was terrible at cutting my losses. And I would notice that within my trading logs, I was always like, never will I do this again. I swear I'll never do this again. I should have cut my loss. But I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. And I knew what I was doing wrong, and I never truly learned how to correct that until years later. And here's the crappy thing. I can't help you with that. And I tell my students that too. There's a lot that I can help you with as far as psychology, as far as trading, but I can't help you actually learn. I get a little bit more into actual psychology now and behavior, but you or maybe somebody you know might have potentially been a drug addict. I was a drug addict a very long time ago. And drug addicts, they change at certain points, right? Some of them unfortunately die as drug addicts. I've had a lot of friends like that. Some people sort of change, right? They just stop doing drugs. They try to change their life, but they never really beat the habit. They just suppress the habit. Then there's other people, like myself, thankfully, through a lot of hard work, who not only change the habit, reverse the behavior, but actually go in the complete opposite direction. The same thing with the stock market. I have students who will mess up and just instantly change. They're like, oh, all I have to do to not blow my wealth or blow all the money I have in the market is just cut my loss when I'm down 1 or 2%. No problem, cool. Then there's other people where I'm like, you have to cut that loss. And they're just like, no, I'm just going to ride it. It's going to bounce. No, my option's going to come back at some point. And then they lose everything. It's just weird. Psychologically, some people get it and some people just don't. And it's nothing right or wrong. We all learn in different ways. We all change our lives in different ways. But it's like, I was trying to explain to my friend now, I smoked my entire life and he's been smoking cigarettes his entire life. And I'm trying to help him to get off of cigarettes. And I'm like, dude, I knew cigarettes killed you, but one day I just woke up and I was like, dude, cigarettes kill you. I'm going to die if I keep smoking cigarettes. I need to do something. And I just like that, I quit. Some people can do that. Some people can't do that. And in the market, we have what is called max pain. And that is a point where you eventually lose so much money that you change or you just quit forever. 90% of people actually quit forever. And so this is one of the most important things, but guys, I can't help you with this. Nobody can help you with this but yourself. So you have to truly figure out psychologically how you work, how do you learn, and how will you actually learn from your mistakes, put everything that's good in your trading repertoire and your investing strategy to actually fixing the problems that you have. So guys, I hope that really helped you. I put a lot of time into these videos, from shooting to editing to actually like writing out everything that I want to say. So please hit the like button. It really helps. Share this video with other people who need to see it. Subscribe to this channel, and thank you guys. Have a great day.